Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into corporate filing so you don't have to. Today we're looking at Global AI's recent 10K filing, and let me tell you, it's a bit of a wild ride. It's like watching a startup try to build a rocket ship while simultaneously changing the engine and destination mid-flight before we jump in. If you find value in straightforward insights from odd in complex corporate documents, make sure to subscribe. We also have a Discord community for deeper discussions, link in the description below. Let's start with who Global AI actually is. This company has had more name changes than I've had hot dinners, previously known as MyCatalogsOnline.com Inc., then MyCatalogsOnline.com Inc., then MyCatalogs Online Inc., after that Bright Mountain Holdings Inc., and after that Wall Street Media Co. Inc., then finally Global AI Inc., MyCatalogsOnline.com Inc., then MyCatalogsOnline Inc., after that Bright Mountain Holdings Inc., and after that Wall Street Media Co. Inc., then finally Global AI Inc. Global AI wants to get into all things artificial intelligence or AI. They want to buy, develop, and merge with companies that are doing interesting things in AI, focusing on areas such as machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing, which are some of the most exciting parts of AI right now. Their plan is to take these acquired companies and make them even better by sharing knowledge and cutting costs. Things got shuffled quite a bit when Ingenious Investment AG, yes, that's a mouthful, bought up a huge chunk, 92.7% of Global AI stock from the old shareholders back in September of 2023. This means that suddenly almost all control of the company shifted. AI5 Development, they signed a deal to buy Tech2Biz Limited, an Israeli company. The price is $1 million in cash and stock. This deal isn't closed yet. There are some hoops to jump through first, including those audited financial statements needed for closing. And the document mentions option agreements to purchase Global AI Inc. shares. Options that have not been issued out to anybody but may at any time in the future. Like any early stage company, Global AI faces a whole host of risks. Let's dive into the most critical. Since they're an early stage company in particular, the success is not guaranteed. They're trying to make something out of nothing, and building a company from scratch is super hard. A lot can go wrong. They haven't proven they can make money, and there's no guarantee that they ever will, because they don't actually have the secret sauce to make a profit. They've been losing money since day one and might never actually become profitable, because they have to invest a lot in developing their AR technology. Also finding the cash to keep the lights on could be a recurring problem. If they can't get more funding, or if the funding terms are bad, they might have to scale back their plans. This could leave them struggling to compete and innovate. There's a real risk the company might not be able to continue. If they can't generate revenues and get additional funding, they may simply cease to exist, which the report admits. The document is saying the quiet part out loud. Their shares might end up being worthless. If they do manage to grow, that growth could cause problems. Managing a larger company and more relationships is going to put a strain on their people and resources. Again, another serious risk. The AI market is like a shark tank, with Global AI being a small fish facing the giants. Most of their competitors have much more money and resources. Global AI's services might simply not be as good as the competition. Issuing more stock always sounds good, but this could dilute existing stockholders. Think of it like sharing a pizza with more and more people, each slice getting smaller. Too much stock issuance could mean investors lose value. Their stock trades on the OTC markets, which it says are often volatile and lack trading, meaning it may be hard for investors to actually sell their stock. This is not ideal. So let's go down a level of risk and talk about penny stocks. Their stock is or may in the future a penny stock. In other words, the prices are super cheap. They may have a limited market and will definitely have limited liquidity. Again, making those shares hard to sell is or may in the future a penny stock. In other words, the prices are super cheap. They may have a limited market and will definitely have limited liquidity. Again, making those shares hard to sell. If they screw up their internal accounting, the price of their stock might go south. Basically, if they can't get their books in order, investors will lose faith. New rules came in called Sarbanes-Oxley Act, which they need to comply with. As of June last year, the company's public float was roughly $9.5 million, meaning the total stock held by regular investors. They have roughly 125 million shares available a couple of weeks ago. Global AI acknowledges potential cybersecurity threats to intellectual property, customer data, and operations. They state they have security measures in place, including a cybersecurity risk assessment program. The potential impact of cybersecurity attacks can be far-reaching. The document mentions that no cybersecurity incidents have materially affected our results of operations or financial condition. In other words, no harm, no foul. Let's move on to the part everyone cares about, the financials. Looking at the balance sheet as of the end of last year, they had very little cash, roughly $10,000, definitely not a lot for an AI company. They had accounts receivable of approximately $30,000, which is the amount of money owed to them. Their liabilities, which are amounts of money that they owe, far outweighs their assets, which is not a good sign, totaling almost 300K. Let's look at what the company made or lost over the whole of last year. Revenue was about 25,000, which, while technically a positive number, is extremely low for a company claiming to be a leader in AI. Then some of that got eaten up by the cost of that revenue. Leaving a gross profit of 9,552 TALS. Operating expenses totaled nearly $1,000, so most of which comes from professional fees, with research and development at only about 44,000, which is rather low, resulting in a total net loss of about $1,000. As Warren Buffett said, it takes 20 years to build a reputation and a few minutes to ruin it. The net cash used in operating activities was almost $1 million, which is way more than the revenue they generate. Obviously, this can't be sustainable. They got about $750,000 from financing activities. This is to pay for staff to exist. The company has made the call that they may not be able to continue as a going concern. This is a critical risk being presented to the potential shareholders of buying shares in the company. There are lots of risks with smaller accounting firms. There is a lot less oversight by larger and regulated firms. The certifications from the CEO and CFO are all present. As such, this seems like a fairly standard company filing. Now, looking at these financials more broadly, it's hard to call Global AI strong. Their low revenue and history of name changes offset by potential upsides. They need to execute their AI strategy very carefully to increase its share price and become a leader in the industry rather than a small penny stock. Their burn rate is very concerning, which means that their resources might dwindle to zero soon and that they are not efficient with their spending. There are also the usual risks like that of increased competition, lack of sales. The company is in a state of turnaround and should be treated carefully, our strategy very carefully, to increase its share price and become a leader in the industry rather than a small penny stock. Their burn rate is very concerning, which means that their resources might dwindle to zero soon and that they are not efficient with their spending. There are also the usual risks like that of increased competition, lack of sales. The company is in a state of turnaround and should be treated carefully. Alright, that's our breakdown of Global AI's latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.